Good morning. This morning, you know what? I got a crazy cat running around and I'm already wrecked, so we're just gonna go. We're just gonna see what happens. Good morning. Over this past weekend, over these past weeks, and there it is. God has been wrecking me. He has been challenging me. He has been rearranging me. And hasn't he been rearranging us all in 2020? Like, rearranging us. Like, well, what do you think? Well, what about this? Well, what do you think about that? Well, let me talk to your heart for a minute. Do you still think the same thing? And I keep revisiting these words that I started visiting. I'm looking to see if I can find a date in, I usually date stuff like in the corners of my, Bible that I'm reading. There's no date, but guys, it says, he's piercing our opinions with his truth. Let's just get right down to that. We have an opinion, and that's what it is. I have an opinion, and that's what it is. But in this psalm that I've been reading, Psalm 73, and I've been reading it in the Passion Translation, and it says it in a way that, what? It says, so I'm reasoning about all this stuff. Why are bad people in high places? Why does it look like the one that works and works and works gets nowhere? Why did I get passed by for the assignment? Why did a family member lose their life? Why can't I get a pet that will behave itself? From the very most painful whys, why God? To the very smallest and most silly, why God? That's what this psalm is talking about, like huge injustices. And then, about halfway through the psalm, which is the way it goes, this guy that wrote this thing, it wasn't David, it was Asaph. He's like, I'm at the end of myself. I don't understand it. What in the world, God? What in the world? And he says, and then I went in to the sanctuary. I went in to the throne room of God, and it was like just one glimpse of the goodness of God, just one glimpse of his glory, just one whisper of his voice, and everything changes. He says, I tried to understand it and I couldn't. But then one day, I was brought into the sanctuaries of God, and in the light of glory, my distorted perception vanished. Do you let yourself get close enough to the voice of God that it can change your heart? Do I let myself get close enough to the presence and power of the voice of God that it changes my perspective, my perception? This week I'm saying, do that. Get in that place. He will change your life. And then he goes on to say, when I saw all of this, when I saw the goodness of God, when I recognized the truth of God, what happened? It says in verse 21 in the Passion Translation, you're piercing my opinions with your truth. You pierce my opinions with your truth. And so this week, this day, this morning, this hour, will you take all of your opinions? I'm taking all of my opinions to God, and I'm saying, I want your truth. And you recognize it when it happens. He pierces your opinions, you know, like a hot air balloon, and all the hot air blows right out of them. And what is left? His truth. His truth. You know, and that's Psalm 73 in the Passion Translation. Take a look at it. But in 2 Corinthians 3:18, I think it is. I wrote this down this morning. This is how he takes us from glory to glory. You know, it says in 2 Corinthians 3:18 that we all, with unveiled faces, go from glory to glory. And it's not like a promotion, you know, a job promotion. It's not like having more money. It's not like driving a bigger car. It's not like glory here on earth. It's glory in the throne room. We all go from, dear Lord, bless this food, amen, to, dear Lord, bless this food and thank you for it, amen. Closer. Dear Lord, I wouldn't have this food if it wasn't for you. Thank you, amen. Closer. Dear Papa God, you are the provider of every good thing. Closer. From glory to glory to glory, closer and closer into his presence until finally you're so close that even your best laid plans, even your grandest opinions, even the facts that you know to be true are pierced by his truth. And for me, it's never what I think it's going to be. And so this week, come close to him and let him pierce your opinions with his truth.